Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be putting the signatures into the journal and just getting the inside of it taken care of and sewn in. And what I did was I started off with cutting the white edge off of all of these papers, and then I also cut down some coffee dyed paper and I'm putting them in between each page. So I'm going to be sewing in 2 signatures, and I'm going to do a hidden spine. So I'm not going to sew them in like I normally do because this cardboard is really thick. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut down a piece of cardboard here, and this is just from some sort of packaging. It's pretty thin. It's a little thicker than a cereal box. So I'm going to cut down a piece, sew it into this, and then glue this into the book. So the first thing I'm going to do is figure out how wide of a piece of cardboard that I need. So I think I made this a 1-inch spine. So we're going to need a little bit less than that. And then I'm going to find some papers that would cover this really well and match the theme that I'm going for. Okay, I've cut my piece, and now I'm going to cover it with some coffee dyed paper. This is actually a file folder that I coffee dyed, so it's going to be a lot more sturdy than just regular paper. I'm going to spread it around here and just flip it over. I think I got these giant scissors at IKEA. They're really humongous and very handy. They cut very well. I think they were like less than $5. They're huge. Okay, so now I have my spine piece, and I'm going to mark the places that I want my holes to be. It doesn't really matter, it can just be eyeballed here. So I have 2 rows with 3 dots in each one. Then I'm going to go to the middle of my signature, and I'm going to write T for top right here, which I can erase later. And then I'm just going to put a little mark where these holes should be. This is my coffee dyed paper that I use plastic doilies to make these imprints. I usually find these doilies on eBay. So now I'm going to poke holes through with my awl. And what I like to do is, when I get my awl into position, I close the book so it goes straight through. Otherwise, the holes get a little jagged. I don't see the mark here. There we go. And just make sure your pages are all lined up properly. And then for sewing, I like to use these large paper clips. You can find these at Five Below, Walmart. I've even found them at Dollar Tree. And they're really handy. So I'm going to start sewing, and I have a larger needle here, and I'm going to use green baker's twine, and you're supposed to do 2.5 of the length of your signature. And if it's too long, that's okay. You can always cut it off, or you can use it as extra dangles in your signature to add charms. So I'm just going to do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, and starting with the back signature, going through the middle, and of course I forgot to poke my holes here. So we're going to poke these holes. So we're going to go through the middle. Oopsies. And leave a little tail. Through the bottom hole. Up through the top. And back through the middle. You just have to be careful not to thread through your first middle piece. There we go. There are much better tutorials about the 3-hole pamphlet stitch on YouTube. So you're going to have one string on each side, and you're going to pull tight. You're going to make sure that this is really snug here, and just double knot it. I like to leave the strings. I'll cut them even, but I do like to leave them so I can dangle charms, buttons, beads, jewelry. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and erase this T now that I know which one is the top, and I'm going to sew in my first signature. Again, we're going to measure 2.5. Now we have 2 signatures sewn into a hidden spine, and I'm going to go ahead and glue that into the book. So this makes it easy to position the pages wherever you want it. I want it to be even between the top and the bottom, so right about there. And be generous with the glue. I'm using Beacon foam and poster board glue. It's basically a tiny version of Fabrifix or Fabri-Tac. It's the same company, and it's acetone based glue. It's very strong and it dries very fast. So what I'm going to do to make sure this is pushed down really well is take a ruler and press it down in. Making sure that it's even and secure. You could use a bone folder, but I feel like a ruler is better because it's going to be long enough to push down into the book. So I'm going to let that dry for a couple of minutes, and I'll be back. It's only been a couple minutes that I feel like this is pretty dry and secure. I'm not really into the huge contrast between this spine and the inside papers, so I'm going to cover that up with a little bit of lace trim. This is what we have so far. I am going to trim these up with some more precise scissors, and I'll be right back. Okay, so now I am going to decorate a little bit. I wanted to show you something that I found at the Dollar Tree. These are rub-on transfers, and I think that the majority of this image is perfect for this fairy journal. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what I'm going to do with this. Sorry about the glare. So I'm going to first cut this down, and what I'm going to do is I have these two little envelopes here, and I'm going to rub on the image on both of these envelopes, but I'm going to do it so this will be on one side flipping out this way, and the other one will be flipping out this way. So I'm just kind of going to eyeball where I want to cut. Here. I think I'm going to cut this in half this way. Use this bottom corner for this one and this top corner for this one. So I'm going to cut this in half first. And these are not exact measurements, but. And then this one, I could use here, like this. Yeah. Doesn't have to be perfect, so what you do is you remove this top layer and position it where you want it. And then you take something and scrape it on. Could use a bone folder, could use popsicle stick, and you kind of just take your time. This has 0 bulk, and it looks like it was printed on the page. I'm gonna open that up so I can get this as flat as I can. And then what I like to do is just kind of check the corner to see if it transferred okay, and then just kind of work on the areas that it doesn't transfer on very well. Just have to be patient. You can always flip it back like that to fix any spots that you missed, but it's fairly simple. And look at that, it looks like it's completely printed on there. And then I will probably use some distress ink and grunge the edges up a little bit. So here's the other half. So that's what that looks like. I'm going to see where I want to put it in the book. I think it would look really pretty here. So one side flips out this way. And then the other side flips out this way. How pretty is that? And it's from the Dollar Tree, so that makes it even better. I'm going to use some walnut stain Distress Oxide. It's perfect. These are simple pockets for a journal. Envelopes are so versatile. And look how gorgeous that is. Okay, I think I'm going to go ahead and glue these on. And just going to apply glue to the flap here. eyeball it. Now we have two pockets that are very cohesive. And my next step is to take these journaling pages and fussy cut all of these pockets and journaling cards. I'm going to back them onto the journaling cards. I'm going to back onto cardstock, and I'm going to probably sew around most of them. And then if I want to make tuck spots, I sew around it first and then glue it onto the page. So there's lots of journaling cards in this kit. Okay, so now I have fussy cut all of the extra pieces from the journaling kit, and I actually sewed around all of these ones. I have some more fussy cut ephemera, but I didn't sew around these because these are little pieces, and I'll use these to decorate the journal in the next video. But in this video, I wanted to show you that I backed these pieces up with some cardstock and then sewed around them. And I did a couple of different stitches. I did this stitch, and then I did just a straight stitch. It's kind of hard to see the straight stitch unless it's on a lighter piece of paper. So I have journaling cards. I can turn a couple of these into tuck spots, and then I have these little pockets that you fold up, and they actually coincide with the tags. So for this next part, I am probably going to speed this up, but I am going to go ahead and use my walnut stain distress oxide and distress all of the edges here. And I haven't quite decided which ones I want as journaling cards and which ones I want as little tuck spots on the pages. Now I'm going to go get some ribbon. I'm going to go with green. I have this really skinny ribbon here. I usually just put 2 ends in. And then loop it through the loop and double knot it at the top. So now we have a cute little tag right there. Okay, so for my 3 tags, I'm going to go ahead and open up the journal and figure out where I want to put these tuck spots. And I'm probably going to put them on a less busy page. So these actually get folded like this. And these are specifically made to coordinate with the tags. So there's 3 of these little pockets and then 3 tags. So the first one, we can put one here. this is the tag that coordinates with it. And these can be journaling tags, or you can put a little photo back there, whatever you want to do. And see, it just tucks right in there. Alright. These pages are a little thin, so I don't really want to glue it on there. But we can glue one in here. So that one goes with this. You can see the lines where it's printed there for you to fold. And then the third one, we could probably do, maybe on this page. I love acetone based glue because it dries so quickly. Like almost too quick for if you need to fix a mistake. It's already dry. So those are 3 tags, and then the rest of these I have to decide if I want these as a journaling card or a text box, so I'll be right back. Alright, so now I'm going to start gluing these in, and I'm just going to glue 2 sides, depending on which side of the page I'm going to be using, and just going to go down just like that. So then you have a little tuck. So I went through the pages. Now a lot of these pages are really busy and some of them are very thin. So I didn't want to put a tuck spot on those pages because I didn't want it to take away from the image that's already on the page. So I'm kind of just deciding on the more plain pages what looks nice with the adjacent page. So I put the glue on these 2 sides, and then this can tuck like this. And there's little speckles here from the coffee, and there's little speckles on here, so I thought this went well together. Oopsies. And this is very simple, so since I sewed the pages prior to gluing it down, it looks like, kind of looks like I sewed it onto the page, but I really didn't. In my next video, I'm going to be decorating with more detail and putting the tabs on and the little ephemera pieces. So if you're interested in seeing that, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell. So then the rest of these, I have a few journaling cards left, and I'm going to use those as the journaling cards. Now, if you don't like the stitching in the back, you can always cover that up. But I wanted this to be more than just the copy paper. I wanted to back it onto something so it would be sturdier. So I will finish up decorating this in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye!